Solving polynomial functions. That's what we're talking about. On Friday, we talked about factoring polynomial functions. This is really just going to add like one more step to what you were doing on Friday. All right, it's not going to be too crazy, or at least I hope it won't be too crazy. I don't know. I think it's fake. I'm pretty sure it's fake. Yeah. I just don't know where in the world you have like a cornfield and then a desert and then a. This look how dry that is, and then it just suddenly is snowing. I think it's fake. I don't know about that. Where are the trees? No. This is like, you don't have, this is like clearly above tree line, but there's no trees. I think it's fake. I think it's fake. Okay, it says yesterday, but by yesterday, I mean Friday. We were doing problems like this. It says given that x minus 1 is a factor the polynomial completely. So let's just run through this real quick. We've done a couple of these by now. Flip this. 2, 3, negative 17, 12. We might have done this one last week. I don't remember. Drop it down. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay. All right, guys, be with me. I don't want to talk over you guys. So I do my division. I get 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. Yes? All right, so then we try to factor this thing some more, right? A times c, oh boy. A times c is negative 24. Two things that multiply to negative 24 add to 5. Negative 3 and 8. 8 and negative 3, doesn't matter the order that you do. So since the leading coefficient is not 1, you can't just throw them in the parentheses, right? We got to do the long way. 2x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 12. Oh, you'll see. Well, this isn't new yet. We got to get to the part that's new. What can you take out of the first part? X, so it's 2x minus 3. What can you take out of this part? 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2x. Negative 12 divided by 4, negative 3. Wow, they match. So it is 2x minus 3 times x plus 4. And what do I need to add on there? The factor that it gave me, which is x minus 1. All right, we good with that? That's what we did last week. We did that on Friday. We've been doing a lot of factoring. So the factored form of this thing is this, okay? Now here's where it's going to be new, all right? Here's where it gets a little bit different. That just asked me to factor. What is it, 2x minus 3, x plus 4, x minus 1? What if it asked me to solve it? Well, I already factored it, right? So it's 2x minus 3, and then what was it? X something? X plus 4 and x minus 1? Well, let's say it asked me to solve it. Do you remember when you were factoring factoring quadratics to solve them? After you factored it, because remember, solving means you get x by itself, right? You get x equals something. How did you solve them after you factored? Yeah, remember you used the zero product property. you use the zero product property and you set all the factors equal to 0. So we're going to do the same thing here. Now there's just 3 of them. That's fine. That's okay. So I take all these things, set them equal to 0, and I'm solving them. Okay, so one at a time. One at a time. Let's do this one. To solve that, what would you do first? Add 3, divide 2, get x equals 3/2. All right, cool. These ones are easy. This one is -4, and this one is 1. So that means that these are my solutions. And remind me again what solutions are. They're x-intercepts. So these are the points on the x-axis where this big ugly polynomial crosses. Okay? And remember, words that we use for those, we might use solutions, we might use zeros, we might use roots. They all mean the same thing. They're just x-intercepts. Okay? Does that make a little bit of sense? So what today is all about is taking something like this and solving it. You might have to start by doing the division thing that we did before to turn it into a quadratic, but then once it is a quadratic, you can try to solve it. You can do factoring, or maybe you have to do something else. So let's just talk about this one real fast. It says factor and solve. How are you going to factor that? I hear some people say take out some x's, because what's the first thing you always look for? A GCF. Always look for a GCF. Are you given a factor? It is, but this one's different from this. Oh my gosh. From this one. This one you're given a factor, right? So that's how you know you divide. Are you given a factor on this one? No. So we can't divide anything, but you can take out a GCF. So what would your GCF be? 3x cubed. How is it? Why is it x cubed?
Because that's the smallest one I have.
Yeah, you want to take out the most x's that you can. So you just look at the smallest one, take that out. All right, so what's this going to turn into? So that turned into x squared. What's this going to be? 8x. And what's that going to be? With no x's, right? Okay. All right, great. So we took out a GCF. What now?
Now we solve that.
Try to factor what's left. Ignore 3x cubed. Factor this. What's a? So you need 2 things that multiply to 16 and add to 8. What? 4. And since a is 1, that's great. I just put it in the parentheses, x plus 4. X plus 4, I got to bring this guy down, right? Can't forget about the GCF I took out. Can I factor these anymore? Nope. Am I done? No, because what did it ask me to do? It asked me to factor it and solve it. So we've only factored it. Now I want to solve it. So how am I going to solve it? Set them all equal to 0. Set each piece equal to 0. 3x cubed equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Since it's 2x plus 4s, do I have to do that twice? No, it doesn't. It's not going to do anything differently, right? So I don't need to do this twice. It's just, you're going to get the same thing either way. So this one's easy. It's -4. This one's a little bit different. 3x cubed equals 0. How are you going to solve that? So we got to get x alone first. So I like that. Divide 3. It's x cubed equals 0 divided by 3. Well, it's just 0. And we haven't seen this yet. It's a cube. So how do you get rid of a cube? You cube root. This is a little preview into what life after spring break has in store for you in this class. I'm going to take a cube root.
Okay, so x is 0.
Yeah, it's still just 0. Don't freak out. The time for freaking out has not come yet. Okay, that comes in April. All right. So there are my solutions. Feel good? All right. Try this. It says find the zeros. What does zeros mean again? Solutions, x-intercepts, roots. It all means the same thing. It just means solve. It gave you a factor, so what does that mean you need to do? Start by dividing. Start by dividing and then see what you can do after that, and we'll talk about it in a minute. Hey, if you're still working on it, keep working on it, but I'm going to start working it out up here. You can check yourself with me as I go, okay? But if you're still working on it, keep working on it.
This is not. It's 55, right? Yeah, I've been trying to. So it's just. Yeah, I. Oh, that sucks.
What do you mean? If you can, then yeah, but I don't think you can. So, yeah. Okay, is this what you got when you divided? 2x squared minus x plus 7? All right, so it's that times x, what is it, x minus 5? Yeah. So then usually we would try to factor this again, but as you all discovered, there's nothing that multiplies 14 and adds to -1, which means I can't factor that. But that's not the end of the world. Remember, the goal is to solve it, and you have other means of solving this thing. You can use completing the square, but why would I not want to use completing the square here? Oops. I wouldn't want to do completing the square because the leading coefficient is not 1, and that's going to screw some things up a little bit. Why can you not solve with? Why can you not take a square root? Yeah, because there's 2 x's, and that's not going to work. So our only option is everybody's favorite thing, the quadratic formula. What? Hey. Yep. All right, I'm going to crank out the quadratic formula. You can see how you did. This is a bad problem?
Yeah, because you cannot solve it anyway.
What do you mean you can't solve it?
Well, after you finish your beautiful thing that you're doing right now, you're going to have 1 plus minus I 455 over 4.
I?
Yeah, because it was -55.
4 times 2 is 14. What's 14 times 7? 104?
Yeah, so then everything in centigrade is going to be negative 55. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Sorry. That's what we all got. With calculator.
Whoa. 4 times 2 is 14.
Here it's not.
Or sorry. I was doing 2 times 7.
So
4 times 2 is 8. Yes, you're right.
here, and look at my calculator.
Yeah, I see it.
That's negative 55.
Well, I'm going to look like a dummy on this video.
Maybe.
Sorry, YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel trending. This is the one. This is the one. Khan Academy better look out. Okay, is this where you got?
Yeah.
All right, negative 55. Square root of negative 55. Do you have any perfect squares that go into 55? No. So what does that mean? You're going to get an I, and then there's nothing else you can do to simplify that, right? So there's nothing else you can do. So this means that this glorious quantity, 1 plus or minus I times the square root of 55 divided by 4, is 2 of the solutions. Well, hold up. In the factored form, it's x minus 5, right? But I want, what am I trying to do? I want the zeros. I want the solutions. Well, can you get a solution out of that?
No, but actually we can
if you were writing the factored form, you would. If you were writing the factored form, because think about what we did here. I was given the factor, I factored it all. This one was nice because I had all my factors in the end.
So you split them up.
I split them all up. But in this one that we're doing here, well, I couldn't factor this thing, right? So I had to solve it another way, and I got this. But I can still solve from this thing, right? How do you get a 0 from this thing? X minus 5. You just set it equal to 0, right? Just like you always did. So I had to solve this piece using the quadratic formula. But this piece, I can just do x minus 5 equals 0, solve it, we get x equals 5. So that means I have 3 solutions, 3 x-intercepts. They are this thing, because remember, plus and minus counts as 2, and x equals 5. Those are my solutions. Having fun? Cool. All right. Why don't you pick one of these? Pick one of these and try it. Everybody has to do that. Yeah. Yeah. It's because you're new. All right, so all right, guys, one last thing here. It says find the zeros. It says find the zeros given that x equals negative 4 is a 0. So this one's different. What does 0 mean again? Solution, x-intercept, whatever, means the same thing. This one's different than these ones because these ones gave you a factor, right? Like x plus 5. This one is giving you a 0. it's different than like this, right? So this is a factor. This is a 0. So basically, this one has just kind of done a step for you. It's already solved the factor. It's already gotten one of the solutions. So we're still going to start by dividing. But what number am I going to put in the synthetic division thing? -4. It already did it for me. It's as if it's given me a factor of x plus 4, and it already flipped it for me. Okay, does this make a little bit of sense? So then we just dive right in with the number that it gave me, -4. I got 1x cubed, 4x squared, 9x, 36. Do our division, so multiply, multiply, -4 times 1 is -4, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay, so that's great. I got 0. All right, so it is x squared plus 9. That's what it factored into, right? So now I'm trying to solve this. Is this a difference of squares? Is it a difference? No, it's not. So I can't factor that, right? But if I set it equal and try to solve it, you got options. You could do quad formula if you want. B is just 0, so you could. But you could also use square roots, right? Because there's only one x, and it's really not that bad if you use square roots. If I subtract 9 and then take a square root, what am I going to get? Plus minus 3i, right? Take a square root, you need a plus minus. The negative turns into an I, square root of 9 is 3. So that's what I get from that one. So those are some solutions. What's the other solution that I'm missing? Yeah, the one that it gave me. It told me this thing is a 0. It's asking me to find the zeros. Well, guess what? It already gave me one of them. Okay? So I found that this one, or those, technically 2 of them, right? Plus minus is technically 2. And then the other one is -4. Capiche? Okay, try that one.